Nestled between rolling hills and a river that sang through the night, the village of Umuoko was a place where time moved slowly. Thatched roofs rose above red earth paths, and the scent of roasted yams and palm oil filled the air during festivals. Life was guided by tradition, and the heart of that tradition was the village chief, Igwe Majuabuchi, whose word was law. Igwe Majuabuchi, regal in his lion-skin cloak and coral beads, was respected and feared in equal measure. His family had ruled Umuoko for generations, and his decisions were rarely questioned, not even by the village council of elders. The people of Umuoko prided themselves on unity. Disagreements were whispered in corners, not shouted in the open. It was believed that peace came from obedience, and to speak against the Igwe was to speak against the gods. But that peace, as beautiful as it appeared, came at a cost. Nwakaego, a widow in her mid-30s, was not born in Umuoko but had married into it. Known for her intelligence and fierce spirit, she was different, bold, inquisitive, and unafraid to question the way things had always been. Her trouble began when the chief ordered the eviction of widows from ancestral lands to expand the new community market. The land had belonged to their late husbands, but the chief declared that progress demanded sacrifice. Nwakaego, having buried her husband only 2 years before, watched as her late father-in-law's compound was marked for demolition. Her protest began quietly. She spoke at women's gatherings and sought explanations from the council. But when her pleas were ignored, she did the unthinkable. She stood in the village square and publicly questioned the Igwe's decision. Gasps echoed like thunder. Women pulled their children away. Men avoided her gaze. But Nwakaego stood tall, her voice clear and defiant. The backlash was swift. Nwakaego was summoned before the Council of Elders, where she was warned that defiance was a path to ruin. Rumors spread like wildfire, that she had disrespected the ancestors, that her husband's spirit would abandon her, that misfortune would follow anyone who supported her. Her farm was vandalized. Her children were mocked. Even her late husband's family disowned her. Yet, every morning, she walked to the land and stood there silently, a lone figure guarding her memory, her dignity, and the rights of every widow watching from behind closed doors. The chief, infuriated by her resistance, declared she had until the next full moon to vacate the land. He sent guards to intimidate her. But she never flinched. As the deadline approached, Nwakaego began to gain quiet allies, a retired teacher, a crippled farmer, and a few brave women. Together, they began to speak. They told stories of other injustices, other abuses. What began as whispers grew into conversation. Nwakaego faced each threat with grace and courage. She taught her children not to fear, to hold their heads high. She even approached the shrine keeper, daring to ask whether tradition truly meant silencing the people. Her resistance wasn't just about land anymore. It was about voice, the voice of every silenced woman, every abused tenant, every elder too afraid to speak. And then, on the night before the eviction, something remarkable happened. The women of Umuoko gathered. Hundreds of them. They stood beside Nwakaego, holding calabashes of white chalk, a symbol of peace, purity, and strength. When the chief arrived with his guards, he found not one rebel woman, but a movement. The chief's hands were tied. He could not imprison them all. The council, sensing the tide had turned, called for mediation. Under immense pressure, the eviction was cancelled. Nwakaego was allowed to keep her land. She never celebrated. Instead, she returned to her quiet life, farming, raising her children, teaching the younger women to read and write. But something had changed in Umuoko. Years later, when Igwe Majuabuchi passed away and a new chief was crowned, reforms followed. Widows were granted land rights. The village council was opened to women. A scholarship was created in Nwakaego's name, for girls who dared to ask questions. Children now told stories of the woman with fire in her eyes, who dared to speak when no one else would. And the village learned that true peace does not come from silence, but from justice.
Hi besties. Sparkling Heart. Thank you so much for following our story. If you're enjoying it, please subscribe to our channel, leave a comment, and share your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like and share this with your loved ones. I'm new here and truly need your support and encouragement to grow. By subscribing, you're not just following a story, you're helping build a beautiful community. Let's grow this channel together, and I'll be so grateful to have you on this journey. Thanks so much and God bless you all.